And now to a story we've been watching closely this whole week as Job Mokgoro fights to stay in power in the northwest. Bushy Maape is already in the wings, waiting to take up the post of Premier. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge sat down with Maape to find out his plans for the province. Sipa joins us now. So, Sipa, I'm going to ask you the question that I've been asking all week. Has Job Mokgoro resigned yet?
As of close or end of business today at 4 o'clock, he has not resigned, or he had not resigned. We are told that there is no official communication from him to the office of the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature in the Northwest, because in terms of processes, procedure and policies, he will have to submit his or tender his letter of resignation to the office of the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, because as much as the ANC wants him out, but it has to be a process led by the legislature, which will declare a vacancy, which will then enable Bushy Maape to be able to be sworn in as a member of parliament or a member of provincial legislature rather, and therefore he can be nominated to take over from Job Mokgoro. But the Prof has not resigned. We are told that he is still consulting with some leaders of the ANC. Yesterday there was a meeting between him and the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Jesse Duarte, and we are told that he's been seized with, continuing doing his government business. So he has not resigned. Earlier on, we asked the coordinator of the interim provincial committee of the ANC in the Northwest, that is Hlomani Chauke. This is what he had to say to us.
It's underway. That process, I think it's underway between the legislature and Prof. Once that is done, will definitely be communicated and we'll know. So that's where we are.
So, but for now, according to your knowledge, he has not communicated to the legislature that he's resigning?
Well, it's an internal process that we're busy with currently, right? He may have already done so, he may not have done that yet, but we know that it's going to happen. And
anything important?
And we are satisfied, we are happy, there's no crisis. The ANC leads, the ANC leaves, right? So we don't have a problem.
You are downplaying this crisis, that a joke.
No, there's no downplay, there's no crisis. ANC many times has recalled its members with dignity all the time, right? You have seen it at some point when a president was recalled. There's never been a crisis, right? But always there's a manner in which the ANC will then do this thing, humane way, allow space, but already the position has been taken. It will happen.
Before we get to Bushy Maape, I just have to ask you about that, because he said everything's underway, there's no crisis, and yet you're very clear he has not resigned. So is it just that he hasn't got round to writing the letter, or is there much more to this than what the IPC is telling you?
There's much more to this. Obviously, this is a very sensitive political situation developing here in the Northwest. There is a crisis. The IPC will never come out and say there is a crisis. They will never concede to that. They are just being politicians who are downplaying the situation. But you have a situation where the IPC has announced that Prof. Job Mokgoro will resign. And he has not resigned. It's going to more than 48 hours now. He's still in the job. And this period is what we call a period of political crisis, chaos, instability, and uncertainty. The provincial government is not functioning well here because officials there, they do not know what to do. They do not have the political mandate and authority of what is happening. So there is a crisis in the Northwest. But for now, as we speak, Prof. Job Mokgoro remains the premier of the province, and there is very little that the ANC can do. They can only beg him to resign. Hence, they are negotiating with him to say, please resign. And he doesn't have to resign to them. He's not employed by the ANC. He's the deployee of the ANC, but employed and elected by members of the provincial legislature. So that process will have to be led by the provincial legislature himself. So if he decides not to tender his resignation today, he will prolong it. Eventually it will happen, but it's something bigger than the IPC had anticipated. Right now they are at his mercy. They will have to wait for him to comply and resign. And there is that political crisis.
It does seem that he's rather proving their point that he's somewhat defiant, I have to say. All of this, I would imagine, is somewhat orcs, as the young people say, for Bushy Maape, because he's trying to make plans as the supposed incoming premier. What's he said to you?
Well, he has to wait for Prof. Mokgoro to resign, and then after that, the legislature processes will kick in. So the only thing he can do for now is to remain an ANC member who is waiting to be deployed. His party has said that they will deploy him, they will push him to be nominated for the position. So for now, he will have to wait. I did ask him that question to say, where does this leave you now? He says, I don't want to comment on that. It's the ANC that is dealing with the matter. Let them handle the matter. I'll hear from them when they say it's all clear. I can go to the provincial legislature. But he's already looking forward, thinking about what he will do, because he's been given a mandate to restore service delivery in this province, to ensure that residents of the Northwest, they receive services. So he's already thinking about service delivery related issues and priorities. He has told me that he would want to focus on agriculture to supplement mining, and also tourism will have to be beefed up in the province as one of the sectors for job creation for young people. So priorities center around service delivery and job creation for young people. This is what he had to say about that.
I have said these 5 areas, said it's water, it's light, it's potholes, it's sewer, what is the other one? What is the other one? These 5. Now, as we come in, the municipality must tell us why they can't deliver on those 5. They must just tell us why. No water, why? Is there sewer problem, why? Potholes, or refuse, the other one is refuse. Why refuse all over? They must tell us. And I am going to ensure that we address them. We work as a collective at the provincial level, and at that we must make this change soon. Like I said, the municipalities that have surpluses, why don't they use the surplus to deal with the pothole?